Lesley, it's so nice to be able to now, of course, sit down with you. Again, thank you so much for joining us here at Collectors Hangout. Lesley, you are also known to the internet as Bring the Mayhem. So I want to have you be, of course, able to do a short introduction and let our audience and podcast listeners know a little bit more about you on a personal level. So just give us some background on yourself and where you hail from in that beautiful country of Canada.
So hi, I'm Lesley. I'm a Canadian toy artist from Ottawa, Ontario. Besides toy art, I also cosplay. I've been doing it for about 5 years. And some brief info of me, I danced ballet and jazz for a good 12 years. Used to play soccer. I currently work at a restaurant part-time. Now with this toy business taking off, it's become a second job. So I work by commissions and mostly through Instagram. And I also have an Etsy shop with the same name, Bring the Mayhem. And yeah, I have no siblings, just me by myself.
And you grew up actually in Canada?
Yep, born and raised.
Awesome. Did you travel or did you move around a lot in the area? Like I actually, of course, am from the United States, but we moved at least 10 times, but I'm not part of course, like a military family or anything. Well, kind of, sort of, but that's another story. So
Okay.
did you move around a lot in Canada or just mostly in the Ottawa area?
Yeah, I'm really boring. I just lived here all my life, really. Never really moved anywhere, just from here, really.
What's your background in terms of your family coming into Canada?
My mom's from the Philippines. I'm
Okay.
mixed, and my dad was born and raised here in Ottawa. So that's my background.
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Well, really glad to, of course, have you again here on Collectors Hangout. And since you had mentioned that you are working in the restaurant part-time, and then of course are making that transition to really doing a lot of vinyl custom toy creations as a business, but you also have done cosplay. How did you get into becoming a cosplay? I guess is the question.
Well, because I got into it 5 years ago, and that's when I went to like my first big con, Anime North in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend really wanted me to like dress up because they were doing like a group thing. So my first cosplay was Misa from Death Note. And ever since then, I kind of got hooked because like it was a great scene and really nice people, very supportive scene. And I like a lot of characters from like different shows. And I started mostly with anime-based cosplays,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of broadened out to comic books afterwards. But it was just so much fun. Like I just really liked dressing up and meeting new people.
Did you, when you were growing up, did you actually read a lot of anime and watch a lot of anime?
I actually watched a lot of anime. Like I got really heavily into watching it in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, my high school days.
That's cool. And with the cosplay that you have that you've done recently, we have some photos here. Let me go ahead and actually start my screen share. What kind of inspires you to do many of the actual characters that you have?
I always I'm always attracted to kind of like strong leads, mostly like female leads. That's why I do a lot of like Spider-Verse cosplays.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've always been kind of like attracted to them, and a lot of them were very like always very like just well written. And when I want to cosplay a character, I just have to do it right away.
Mm-hmm.
And with the Spider-Verse characters too, like I really like the suits too, especially with Silk. She's like my favorite. And there aren't really a lot of Asian superheroes in the Marvel scene, so it was nice to kind of see that it was like a female Asian Spider-Verse lady.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's my favorite right now. I'm obsessed with her.
I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties bringing the photo up here. So hang on just a second. Let me go ahead and bring that up, and hopefully it will load here in just a second. Let me check something here. So the you enjoy, again, Spider-Gwen, I think, is what you had mentioned. One of the names of the characters. Is that correct?
Yeah, Spider-Gwen
And
and Silk
this
here.
this is Silk.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the difference between Silk and Spider-Gwen? I don't know enough about this.
Well, they're in different universes. It's a very long story with these ladies.
But they are actual comic book characters. It's not a subgenre.
Oh yeah, they're part of the Marvelverse. Yeah, and Cindy Moon Silk. She's fairly new. She kind of came on the scene like last year.
Okay.
And that was like my most popular cosplay was Silk. Like everyone loves her.
And Silk is where you use your natural hair, but Gwen is the blonde, correct?
Yep.
Okay. And we'll of course have the pictures up on our the Collectors Hangout show notes. So hopefully that will be better here. And then is this a character from Badass or who is this? Kick-Ass. That's right. Yeah. Kick-Ass.
I did a gender bend of this character, and that was kind of my introduction back into cosplay because I took a little bit of a break because of the toy art thing. Mm-hmm. And that one's like all that yellow you see there sewn on. I don't even have a sewing machine, so that took a good month of sewing.
Wow. So you did it by hand?
Yeah, my mom helped me because I gave up on it like twice. I got so frustrated. But I didn't actually get beat up. That's all makeup. Don't worry.
That's good. And where was what Comic-Con was this at?
That was Ottawa Comic-Con last year.
Okay. So do you typically try to have a new character for each Comic-Con, or have you dressed up multiple times for several Comic-Cons in a row because it takes so much time to actually create these costumes?
I try to make one new one every convention. Mm-hmm. It's getting a little bit harder, hence why I do a lot of Spider-Verse stuff where you can buy the suit. But I don't have a picture of it there, but I've cosplayed Mara from the DC universe, and basically like people know her as Aquaman's wife. Mm-hmm. And that one I kind of had to like make accessories for, and that took forever. But right now with my toy art schedule, it's kind of getting harder to make cosplay now. Find time.
Yeah, you're going to have to actually hire somebody to do it for you now.
Yeah, I know.
All right, and then so we've covered Silk and Gwen, and of course Kick-Ass. Yeah. And this character here is a cat, obviously, but what is the official name?
It's Black Cat.
Black Cat.
Yeah, Felicia Hardy.
And is this from the Marvel or the DC world?
Marvel Universe.
Marvel, okay.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that cosplay.
Now, how long did this one take you, or was this also something that you were able to mostly buy the outfit?
It was like half and half. Like a lot of it was sewn. Like that was like my first time really using fur, and it was quite frustrating, especially like the top part of the cosplay. But that took about like a week to put together. Okay.
And here's another picture of you.
Yeah, close up.
How did you do the mask portion? Is that it's not paint? It's definitely something.
It's craft foam.
Craft foam. Okay. Was it actually something that you built into the wig, or is it a separate piece altogether?
I had to attach it like under the wig, so it was really uncomfortable. That mask didn't survive. I ripped it off when
you were done.
Yeah, I was like, nope, I'll make a new one.
And of course, here you have your red hair wig, and then Spider-Man with it almost looks like a Captain America shield. Yeah. What's going on there?
It's my Civil War Spider-Man custom.
Okay.
Yeah, based off of the new suit. Mm-hmm. And this is my Mary Jane cosplay, so Spider-Man's girlfriend.
Very cool. And we actually used that in promoting this episode. So
yeah, I actually really love that selfie. So thank you.
Welcome. And then this one, I am going to venture a guess that it is a cosplay from. Is it Doctor Who, or am I totally off?
Kind of. She's similar to a TARDIS. It's Elizabeth from BioShock Infinite.
I'm from where again?
BioShock Infinite. It's a video
Oh,
game.
BioShock. Okay,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
BioShock. Yeah, she's
Okay.
she's sort of like a TARDIS. Like she can make tears and everything. So
Yeah, I was very embarrassed when I ended up looking at these. Like, yeah, I think I know who this is. I think I know I don't know who this is at all. And then, of course, this one is coming up in a local or a movie that's coming out this summer also.
yeah, Harley Quinn.
Yep. And then,
But this one was a mashup. Like one of my friends cosplays Deadpool, and this was kind of like a Harley Pool cosplay. Like the choker I was wearing said Wade.
uh
So and I was wearing Deadpool leggings, so it was kind of like a Harley Pool cosplay from last year.
okay. Hey, whatever works, right?
Oh yeah, and it was really hot too in the summer, so that was like the perfect cosplay to rock.
And this was also in Ottawa as well, or did you travel somewhere for this?
Oh, this is Toronto. I go to a lot of
Toronto.
Toronto cons. That's why a lot of people think I'm from there.
Ah, all right.
Yeah, because even you thought I was from Toronto.
Yes, I did. Yes, I
Yeah,
did.
I should just move there.
Well, the from what I understand, the art scene there, and also just the geek nerd scene is quite prevalent as well.
Oh yeah,
Um, so it kind of helps, I
yeah.
guess.
All my friends are out there too, so be nice to see them regularly.
That's awesome. Well, cool. Well, thank you so much for giving us that, insight to, you as a cosplayer and, traveling around and doing the costume. So it's cool that you have been able to do that. Now, being the fact that your custom toys are taking off, how has the migration of perhaps being influenced by cosplay also seeped into you being an artisan and creating customs, because I think some of the customs that you actually do are actually around people that are doing cosplay and making them into a little vinyl toy. Give us
Oh,
some information on that.
that one was interesting because like I've been customizing toys for like a good 8 years now, and a few of my good friends are mainstream cosplayers, and they were like, "Have you ever tried the cosplay market?" And I never really thought of it. And there are a lot of big cosplayers out there right now, like Jessica Negri, and they were like, "Oh, why don't you try making her a custom?" And I did make her a few, and I don't know, like it was just like a crazy interesting market because Funko has never thought of making toys of cosplayers when a lot of them have huge like web followings, especially on Instagram. So I kind of just like fell into doing that. Like I've just been making like customs of cosplayers for a good year now. And ever since then it's kind of like word of mouth and all these cosplayers have been contacting me. I'm the girl who makes pops of cosplayers now. Everyone kind of
Oh.
knows me as that now. So like if you see a lot of my recent customs, like you see a little picture of a cosplayer in the corner,
Mhm.
and those basically that's how I've been making a lot of my commissions is like through cosplay in general.
Well, why don't I actually show some of those here?
Oh yeah.
Yep. And let me go ahead and start this and choose this one here. All right, and you all should see my
Yeah.
screen right now.
It is Jessica Negri's Deathwing.
And that is one heck of a costume. I can't even imagine how long it must have taken her to make that. And how long did it take you to do the custom? And how did you do this custom?
I think that custom took a good 12 hours altogether. And a lot of it is sculpting. Like I use a generic like no name brand like air dry clay,
Hmm.
and I stuck it all over this toy. Like I used like the body of that is like Harley Quinn, and then the
Hmm.
head was Marceline from Adventure Time. So I kind of use spare pops, and the rest of it is like sculpting.
So you actually source multiple bodies or heads to make these customs because it really doesn't matter what's underneath the paint and the sculpt. You don't use Sculpey, you use something else.
No, I don't use Sculpey.
Okay.
Sculpt. Yeah, I don't use that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know this. So what is the actual, like if somebody wanted to, play around, like I have some items here in back of me that I would like to be able to, start doing some customizations of like a Dooney or Mooney. So what kind of material do you recommend if somebody wanted to try something like this?
That's a tough one. I don't know because like I don't really use a specific brand. Like I'm not super picky. Just like a typical generic air dry clay.
Air dry clay? Okay.
Yeah, just air dry clay, and I don't use like crazy expensive brand either, and it still works for me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just generic air dry clay. Just you can get it at any like art store.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
it bonds fine to the plastic that it doesn't pull away.
No, sometimes it'll crack, but then you can always like fill in the cracks with
Okay.
like more clay. That's like my little trick.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then you just normally use the normal like clay sculpting tools, or do you use a lot of like found items, and have you made actual hardware to actually do your sculpting? I know a lot of creators, ultimately find like some tool that was meant for something totally different and they end up using it for sculpting.
Oh yeah, like my tools are really they're actually it's ridiculous whenever I tell people like what I use. Like I use like old kitchen knives
Just to
to kind of like
just
sculpt stuff and like carve stuff out. I use toothpicks too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's very strange. Like just old kitchen knives and I'm like I'm not lying.
Whatever works for you. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I'm comfortable with that. So,
yeah. It's not what you actually are using. It's how you, of course, use it to make something that's beautiful and ultimately what somebody wants to have in their collection.
yeah.
And then the painting, I'm assuming the painting was not factored into the 12 hours that you were mentioning for this piece, or was that also
Oh yeah, it was also in the 12 hours.
okay?
Yeah.
So do you do sketches beforehand, or simply just throw clay onto these models?
It's all in my head.
Wow, that's
I don't draw
impressive.
stuff out. People are always surprised by that. They're like, "Oh, like do you plan any of this?" And I'm like, "Not really. I work like a machine. I'll scan stuff. Like I'll go to the local comic book shop and like scan pop toys and I'm like, "Oh, I can use this. I can use that." Like it's all in my head.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at this next one. This is another cosplayer that, of course, is in the
Yeah,
top right-hand corner.
she goes by Undead Do. My friend Ashley, and I've made her several pop toys. She was the first cosplayer to promote my business.
Mm-hmm.
And this is her Red Sonja cosplay. She's from Marvel.
And that's obviously a red wig. And then the body, I mean, this body seems like it's almost all custom except for maybe the legs. How close am I on nailing that?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Okay.
Yeah, I basically had to sculpt that body, like the little suit by like scratch. And it was a headache actually because it's so tiny.
Mm-hmm.
And painting it, I was starting to like go cross-eyed. I had to like take 2 breaks from that toy custom.
What year did you do this piece?
I made that one recently. I want to say February.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's one of my more recent customs. I gave her that toy recently.
That's cool. And then this next one is,
It's Future Trunks from Dragon Ball Z.
I thought it was going to be Dragon Ball, but I didn't want to embarrass myself. So.
It's my friend Carlos Castle Cosplay on Instagram. I'm like plugging my friends right now. That sword took forever. I got so mad at that custom. I remember that one.
Did you use something for the base, for the actual spine of it, and then build it out with clay, or is it all clay?
It's all clay.
Wow. Okay.
I like cried a few times, you know.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about how I would have done that, I would have like maybe like thought you would have used like a toothpick or some other wood dowel piece and then built the clay around it. Did
Yeah.
you find that you try to do as much just using clay for a specific reason?
I guess I was just being stubborn. I kind of wanted to try something new, and I was like, oh, I could probably try and sculpt this because I've made small accessories before, but with this specific one, it just was not staying on his hand properly, and it broke twice, but I finished it. My friend was really happy with it, so it was worth it.
Yeah, it's a very. I really like his hair. I think the hair that you did, like you captured his wig that he's definitely wearing in this picture.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. And that's Spider Inferno.
Spider Inferno. Tell us a little bit about this character because I grew up loving Spider-Man, and when I saw this, it's like he's like a ninja and this is Spider-Man. This is so freaking cool.
Yeah, that's his Spidey-Pool cosplay. So he mashed up Deadpool and Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah, that was his like latest cosplay, and that one was a lot of fun to paint. Actually, like I kind of got to be creative with this one.
Mm-hmm. And then the sword, again, getting into it seems like something that might have caused you some headache. Is that a sword that you built entirely custom, or did you use a base?
It was already attached to it, so because it was the body's a Deadpool body.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so it was like I got away with it.
Well, it definitely came out, looking pretty cool, I think.
Yeah.
And then this one is I don't know, a cross between Superman and some other character. Maybe Batman?
And Batman, yeah.
Okay.
And it was funny because that was like a commission order from someone.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, oh, can you make something half Batman, half Superman? And it was around the time, of the movie's release.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'll see what I can do. So like the Batman half is all sculpted.
On top of what was a Superman?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was originally just a Superman, and then I just sculpted that a complete Batman half.
Okay. Pretty cool. And then this one, it looks like it's some actor that I should know, but it's escaping me. So what is this?
This is Jesus from The Walking Dead.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I'm actually going to be meeting that actor at Ottawa Comic-Con. I'm going to give him that toy.
So this is not something that he already has. This is something that you specifically designed in hopes to meeting the actor?
Yeah, like I got my start making Walking Dead toys. Like I've made pretty much all of the cast, and I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. Like I am obsessed with the comics and the show. So I've been to Walker Stalker cons, and I've given my toys to the actors, and I can't wait to give him that one. So.
Walker Stalker cons. That's
Walker Stalker con, yeah, Walking Dead convention.
Very cool. And this last one here, it's not the last one that we'll be showcasing, but this is a group of, is it K-pop?
Yeah, K-pop. I'm not really familiar with K-pop either. This is also another commission piece. But it's 2NE1, and a very popular K-pop group. And these four, I did in 16 hours straight of these four ladies.
16 hours straight. Okay.
Yeah. I did eat in between that, but like it's 16 hours straight.
Why 16 hours? Why subject yourself to that? Is it just because you were in a rhythm?
Yeah, and it was like a crunch time. Like she kind of needed them for a specific date because they were like a birthday present.
Oh, okay.
So, and it was kind of like a last minute order, and I work the best under stress, I guess. So I was kind of like, yeah, I can do this. And
I completely understand where you're coming from. It's the Asian influence of our parents like, you need to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Okay. So that was, this piece was done earlier this year, or was this last year?
It was about a month ago.
Oh, wow. Okay. So this was really, really recent.
Yeah.
All right. And speaking of some Walking Dead, I definitely see one Walking Dead character here.
Yeah, that's basically most of the cast with my toy customs. Like I love that show so much. A lot of the actors have like retweeted my stuff or like posted things on Instagram for me. And whenever I go to like a convention and they see me, they're always like, "You're that girl from Twitter." Like every actor I've met is like, "You're from Twitter, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's me."
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So what started you on the Walking Dead fandom? Did you enjoy the comics before the show came out, or did you adopt a love for the show and then the comic?
I started reading the comics first through a friend
Hmm.
back in high school. And then when I found out there was going to be a show, like I was that kind of nerd where I'm like, okay, the show's going to probably suck because I've seen so many like adaptations of like comic to movie or like book to movie sort of thing. And they always disappointed me. So I didn't watch the show right away. I kind of like put it off. I was like, "Oh, I'll watch it later." So
Hmm.
like I started watching it like when the second season was released, that's when I started watching season 1. So I kind of just marathoned it till the second season and then I kind of like I got hooked after that.
Very cool. So that's neat that you know, own up to the fact that you originally thought that the show was not going to be a success, and
Yeah.
now it's a runaway success, as we all know.
Yeah, it's like going on its 7th season now, I believe.
Yep, I believe
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. And I can't believe we have to wait till October for it to come back. Killing me inside.
So, with you being, you know, so into the cosplay culture, have you gotten into Game of Thrones at all?
Ah, people are gonna hate me because this is live. Um, I tried watching it. I couldn't get into it.
Thank you. See, my wife is very much into it, and I tried to get into it. Um, I think I'm gonna really try to go and actually read the books. I think I'll enjoy the books more
Yeah.
than I will the show. But yeah, I think my love for it is like if there was more battles, if it was not so soap opera-ish, I think I would like it. But
I'm not really into medieval stuff. I That's like just something I could never get into. Um,
okay.
yeah, like I tried watching the first season and I was kind of like, it's not my taste. I respect the fandom, I respect the show and everything. It's just not my cup of tea, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm
we're
more
actually
into
going to
like,
have we're going to actually have a collector of Game of Thrones um, come on. He's actually from the UK, so you can maybe he'll be able to instill some nugget for us to understand why we should be so involved and put
yeah.
invest so much time into it, like so many other people. Um, all right, and then this last piece here that you had sent. This is this Frida or who is this? Oops, it's not showing up. Hold on just a second.
Oh yeah, I'm just like,
There we go. All right, so who is this that we're looking at here?
oh, it's Morrigan from Dragon Age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is Atlas Cosplay, and this one I actually made 2 weeks ago, I believe.
I
Yeah,
didn't realize that these were when you had sent them to me that they were so recent.
yeah, like they were kind of like the ones that popped up on my phone first, and I was like, oh yeah, this one, because like I find every custom I make, I improve my skills.
Hmm.
So this is like one of the best customs I've made so far, because like that dress was a lot of sculpting.
Well, one of the things that jumped out at me was how, I mean, you've done some other intricate paint jobs on, you know, the other customs that we've previously looked at,
Mhm.
but the paint job on this one, especially on the dress, was so intricate in the floral red and orange pattern,
Yeah.
and you nailed the face and her makeup, which is so cool.
Oh yeah, thank you.
And do you know this cosplayer as well?
Yes, I do. I met her November of last year at a convention.
Very cool.
Yeah, the
Awesome.
Canadian cosplay scene is quite small, especially in Toronto. And like it seems like a big city, but when you meet these people at conventions, it's kind of like, oh yeah, I follow like 20 of these people. They're kind of like all in like one like small con pretty much. Like Toronto Comic Con, like the photo shoot area is like I ran into so many of my friends because like so many shoots were going on and I was like, oh my god, like my friends are here. Oh my god.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, let me why don't we turn a little bit and talk about you as a collector too, because you actually have some collections of toys yourself, which kind of inspired you to get into doing customs.
Yeah.
Tell us, like, when did you actually start really recognizing that you were collecting toys, and really taking care of them, just not getting toys to play with, as a kid?
Um, I want to say it started 9 years ago because one of my friends, she would always give me, I don't know if you know Gloomy Bear.
Gloomy Bear.
Gloomy Bear.
Um, was it
This
a
Japanese kind of mascot that kills children.
was it also a video game too?
I'm not quite sure. Like that's when I started collecting like little Gloomy Bears through her.
Okay.
And I would like had them on my shelf and yeah, it was like little Gloomy Bears. Like I want to say I have about 10 of them.
Do you actually have one that we can actually see?
Yes, I'm gonna like have to. I'll run and get it.
Okay, no problem.
Possibly. If not, yeah, I do have one.
Awesome.
These little guys.
Oh, yes, I have seen those. I never knew what they were called though.
Yeah, little Gloomy Bears. Like these were the ones like I started to collect 9 years ago in high school.
Can you hold it up one more time so that we can get a better shot of it? Oh, let me blue box you. Okay, so this is obviously a stuffed bear. So are most
Yeah.
of the Gloomy Bears actually almost like stuffed animals?
Yeah, I have a few bobbleheads too.
Okay.
Yeah. We good?
Yeah, and do they actually come from Japan, or where can people find these?
Um, you can like they're harder to find now because they used to sell them at comic book shops,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been a few years, so I think you can mostly get them online now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they've really disappeared. I mean, they're not being made now, so they are truly collectible items.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Very cool. So you started getting, of course, Gloomy Bears about, you said, 9 years ago, and then
Yeah.
how did that transition to other pieces that you now have in your collection, and what are you collecting mainly right now for your own entertainment?
I mostly collect Funko Pops now, but my cousin gave me like my first like do-it-yourself money,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of how it started. Because like I mostly for a while like I didn't customize them. I kind of just had them sitting on a table, and then I started entering art shows, and that's when I started like initially customizing them. Was like enter them into these art shows, like local shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
So going back, I'm trying to again get how you got more into custom. Did you in high school? Did you do a lot of sculpting classes, or are you all self-taught in what you're doing now?
I'm all self-taught. Like my story with customization, like is a very simple one because I kind of just fell into it,
Mm-hmm.
and like that little hobby of mine, and I wasn't really into painting and drawing and everything like that. I don't know, like I was bored one day and I just started kind of like playing around with the toy custom, and then ever since then I was kind of like, oh, I can make this character or make that character, and I made a lot of Walking Dead toys from like tiny monies.
Mm-hmm.
This is before Funko was like licensed AMC or whatever, so I kind of just made the characters myself and kind of just went from there. And yeah, it's just crazy that I've been doing this for 8 years now.
So you really were trying to fill a gap in what you wanted to see in the marketplace.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so the first one that you can think back about doing it, I don't know if you have it like that first creation that you made.
Oh, I do. It's next to me.
Okay. What? Yeah, let's see it and tell us about how, like, what it felt like to do this first custom.
It's weird.
That is fine.
This is what it
Hold
is.
on. Hang on just a second. Let me blue box you so you can see it. Okay, so and this was a Mooney, or is this a Dooney?
It's a money.
Monies. I'm sorry. Yep, money.
Yeah,
So you have writing all over it.
It's an STD monster. It has all the different STIs and whatever written on it, and it was part of a show, and it was like a Halloween show, so like we had to make monsters. So what's scary than having a bunch of STDs on a toy?
That's very, very creative. I like it.
It's really gross. If you can see the arm and everything, and there's a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like a biohazard waiting.
Yeah, like it's the base is like latex, so I don't know if I technically should still have it because it's like sticky.
Yeah, you might want to put something on that.
Yeah. It was a hit at the show though, and when I had it on display, it was stepping on a condom.
Well, that's what you should do. So, you should get a condom and then like stretch it out so that you can set it. The ways to protect the show.
I was like, I'm just gonna have you stand on it. Yeah.
So that was the first one, and then that was paint, latex, and then also some clay.
Yeah, like the top part.
Okay.
Clay, yeah, but it was mostly latex.
Okay. And then from there, did you start doing more of the K-pops, or were you still doing the monies?
I think I started getting into like doing like the Funko customs 2 years ago only because Funko's still fairly new.
Mm-hmm.
But before then, it was always just Kid Robot money toys that I was customizing, and like I made a few random ones. Like I also have made Sonic the Hedgehog too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I should give you a picture, but I didn't have a picture.
Oh, I don't even remember seeing that one.
Yeah, because like that was one that I made 4 years ago, I believe now.
I don't. So, I honestly don't remember seeing that one that you sent.
I don't have a lot of pictures of that Sonic, like because I made a few, and yeah, it's sad that I don't have a lot of pictures of that. But I probably plan to make a new one, just like a new and improved one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I made Sonic, and then I just made a bunch of Walking Dead characters on the show, like when I just started watching the show.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just basically stuff that I wanted to see as a toy that they don't sell much of. Or same with Spider-Man. Like I made a few Spider-Man monies too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I love Spider-Man, and I was actually, let me go ahead and actually show you the monies that I have that again I'm looking at trying to do. So maybe you can inspire me here. Hang on, just a second.
Okay. Just do a little dance.
So I have two here. I have the glow in the dark one, and this one right here. So they're basically the same size.
Yeah.
And what I was thinking of doing was I was thinking of kind of going gruesome with this. I wanted to actually have this be almost like a death blade. And,
I love bloody customs, so you should just add a lot of blood splatter to it.
Yep. And then I was going to make this guy mostly almost put a lot of paint and stuff on him so that only his eyes were to glow and maybe like some of his mouth.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then, you know, obviously when it gets dark, then you see, you know, where the blood almost like a black light effect.
Yeah, I find these glow in the dark really well.
Yeah.
Those do-it-yourself ones, yeah.
And this one, I don't know. He's just white.
You should turn him into Spider-Man.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess I can. Obviously, he doesn't need, of course, the trident.
Or you could turn it into Aquaman.
Yeah, no, I should
Yeah.
look at that. Yeah, I didn't grow up reading a lot of comic books, or even watching a lot of cartoons. My parents wanted me to watch PBS all the time, so I kind of got stuck with PBS. But yeah, so no, I think yeah, Aquaman. Yeah, I might do Spider-Man. But one of the things I wanted to find out from you is when you're doing the line work, are you using a pen or are you using an actual brush to do all that?
I'm using a brush. I have a lot of patience.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a steady
So,
hand.
yeah, a lot of people freak out about that, especially with my Spider-Man ones. You're like, you're the only girl who does Spider-Man customs because I don't have the patience for it. And I'm kind of like, I just love the character a lot. There are times where I get frustrated, but you'll never see that.
And Darren Atkins is saying Spider-Man, so I guess he wants me to make one of these into a Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So thanks for chiming in there, Darren. So I wanted to get into a little bit more on the way that you're, of course, actually doing the collecting for yourself and the customization, because you had said that you're not doing a lot of customization for yourself now. So what are you looking to grow your own collection into at this point as an artist and as a collector?
Right now, like when it comes to like collecting wise, I kind of just want to buy more Walking Dead pops.
Mm-hmm.
Like basically I have most of them. There's just little ones that I'm missing. Because there are some rare ones, like the ones that are covered in like the con exclusives covered in like splattered blood. Those are the ones that I've been looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to like customization, like for myself or just business wise.
Both. Like if
Both.
you wanted to, like, is there a piece that you're like, man, if I could just have the own personal time to like customize something that you've seen maybe in a movie, or just something that's in your mind, and also if you could have that that client come to you and say, hey, is there something that you would really want to customize for like a special somebody?
Oh, okay. That one's a tough one because like I know some artists are limited when it comes to skills
Mm-hmm.
and like they only like doing something a certain way. But for me, like what makes my business really unique is I can pretty much make anything. If you give me enough time, I can make it for you. But a character that I would like to make right now, that's like a really tough one. If I could, I'd make more Spider-Man pops, like more characters, because there are so many different Spider-Verse characters right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really like pinpoint it because all the characters that I want to make, I'll make it right away. Like I'll find the time for it. Like that Jesus pop that I showed you.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as his character was introduced, that same like the night after, that's when I started working on him. So
you're very timely when a lot of this actually rolls out into the mainstream, not mainstream.
oh yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like it's really hard for me to find a character because the one major one that I wanted to do for a while was like Suicide Squad Harley, and I made my own version. But
Mm-hmm.
now Funko has their own version of that pop that I think just got released. So like I know Funko was a little bit mad at me because I sold a few of my version of Suicide Squad Harley,
Mm-hmm.
and I beat them to it, I guess, for a few months in advance.
Well, I would think that from a standpoint as a collector, that is, if you can get something that is made by a custom artist like you before it's released by the company that is actually getting the marketing rights for it. I mean, you're doing it as as a commission piece, so you're not conflicting on the copyright portion. It's,
Yeah.
you're selling it to a private collector, but I would think that they would be coming to you and saying, hey, we want you to like help with some of this type of stuff. But I guess that's a month or two down the road, hopefully sooner than later, right?
Yeah, there's also to a lot of toy artists on the scene as well, especially in LA. So I
Mm-hmm.
think what made me very unique was like I'm one of the few female toy artists out there right now, and I'm Canadian too, which
Mm-hmm.
also kind of helps too, because I haven't really met a lot of Canadian toy artists, and the ones I have met mostly do like action figures or the Moneys. So I'm the only one who kind of really does Funko right now.
Mm-hmm. Have you actually begun to make inroads with the Hollywood community in Canada? Because I know Canada is an up and coming country for not only actors going to Hollywood, but also, of course, studios actually producing some really great movies and TV shows from Canada as well.
Mostly it's been the YouTube scene, so I've been contacted by YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much Hollywood, I wish, but maybe down the line, hopefully. But it's mostly like YouTubers that have been contacting me, which is nice because it's crazy how big YouTube is now, and like creators have become so like prominent on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's really cool that that they're going to be like helping me out and kind of like promoting my stuff.
Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. Well, we're on the last 15 minutes or 14 minutes of the show, so I want to just ask you some off the wall questions, and
Sure.
be as thorough or as vague as you want. If you were going to be going to Mars and you had 3 Earthbound meals that you could have before you actually got into the spaceship, what would those meals be? And you can choose to have them as homemade or going to your favorite restaurant, of course, there in Ottawa.
Okay. Does Red Bull count as a meal?
No, because you're going to have Red Bull a lot when you're in space.
Okay, because like I'm obsessed with Red Bull. I want to say Chinese takeout would have to be a meal.
Okay. Now let me get into a little bit more detail here. You say Chinese takeout. I'm sure you have a Chinese takeout go-to place there in Ottawa. So name the restaurant that you would want to have the Chinese takeout from.
It's called Ben Ben's.
Ben Ben's? Okay.
Yeah, Ben Ben's, like Chinatown.
And
yeah, their food.
And what would you get there?
I'm boring. I would have just gone with the Singapore noodles.
Singapore noodles? Okay. Hey, I mean, my go-to is fried rice.
Pork. For me, it's sweet and sour pork. I love that stuff. Yeah, it's always my go-to. I always get that there.
Okay, so that's one meal.
And cheese pizza from Milano's. That would be. I love pizza.
Alano's Pizza. Okay,
Milano's
what's so good about Alano's Pizza?
Milano's.
Milano's. I'm sorry.
Milano's. Yeah, sorry. I don't know. It's just really good. That's all I could say. Like,
do you enjoy the like? Is it? Are you a crust eater, or do you just eat the cheese portion and then throw the crust out?
oh, I'm a crust eater. I can't believe people throw crust out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that like I'm just like it's food.
Do they have like a special flavor crust, or is it just the standard hand tossed or pan?
This is like it's all like homemade. Like it's all like in the oven and everything, and they make it in front of you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So hand or oven cooked pizza.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then that's okay. So that's 2. You have 1 more.
It would be my mom's ribs.
Mom's ribs. Okay. What does your mom do that's so
Secret
special?
sauce. I don't know what's in it. She won't tell me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Only child, and she hasn't told you the secret recipe yet.
No. Yeah, whenever she makes her specialty ribs, I always like freak out. They're the best.
That's funny. Okay, good. Awesome. So, what book has most influenced your life?
The Harry Potter series.
Really?
Yeah.
Harry Potter, but you haven't mentioned anything about doing any Harry Potter customs.
I was never like, I don't know. I really enjoyed the books, but I wasn't like a crazy fanatic where like my life was Harry Potter. I have some friends that are like that, and they quote the books all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, the books were more of an escape when I was a kid, like because I didn't have a video game console growing up. A lot of kids did. I didn't have an N64 or PS3. So for me, it was books, and like the Harry Potter series was kind of just like my escape, and it was really like they're really enjoyable books. Like I would read those books to my future kids someday.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Which of the books was your favorite, or can you not answer that question?
Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, and if you were stuck on an island, nowhere, and for some reason your phone or MP3 could only play one song, what song would that be?
Yeah, you showed me this question before, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna answer this. I'm a big Blink-182 fan, so it definitely would have to be All the Small Things.
Okay.
That one would have to be the song. Like, that song gets me so pumped, so.
And you wouldn't get sick of it?
Oh, no, I wouldn't.
Okay, good. See, you were able to narrow it down. That's good.
Yeah, because I had to think about it for a very long time.
That's why I send these questions to of course people that are going to be on the show, because again, it's like sometimes it's like, wow, what would I do? What meals would I would have?
Yeah,
and it's telling too, because it goes down to what you really enjoy, local to you, or what you enjoyed growing up, that type of thing. So
yeah.
And then who has had the biggest impact on your life, and if they watch or listen to this, what would you like to tell them?
God, that's like a deep question. Well, my mom has like the biggest influence in my life, like because she's like the most like supportive. Like she was like the first one to be very supportive of like my whole cosplay thing. Because I know some parents are just like, "What are you doing? That's weird." Like, why are you dressing up? But my mom was always like, "I want prints of your cosplays. I want like I want to see all your pictures and things like that." So like, what was the question again? Like I would.
Yeah. I mean, if she was going to be listening to this, what would you want to say to her?
Not to stress so much, and not to take life so seriously, I guess.
Yeah.
Like most of the times, like we're just laughing at like hardships and everything. So it's just like, yeah, like no stress. I think.
That's awesome. No, it's thank you so much for answering those questions. I know that some of them get a little bit personal, but it's also, again, it gets people to be able to get to know you as the artisan, as the cosplayer, beyond, of course, what they see on YouTube or, of course, through Instagram. So thank you so much, Lesley. And if people want to connect with you, where would they go to do so? And if they want to, of course, give you a commission to actually make a custom piece, how would it be best to connect with you?
The best way to contact me is through my Instagram of my same name, Bring the Mayhem, and to just shoot me a DM on there, because I do most of my sales through Instagram.
Okay, excellent.
And also, my shop name on Etsy is Bring the Mayhem. Like everything's Bring the Mayhem. So you can also do it through my Etsy shop too.
Very cool. And we didn't even actually cover how you got that name. We have a couple of minutes left. So tell us, like, what is Bring the Mayhem? How did you get that name?
It's really funny because like not a lot of people know that story, so everyone's gonna know now. But my ex-boyfriend used to call me Mayhem. So, but the Mayhem.
Yeah.
That was his nickname for me. And then it kind of just like when I was thinking of a store name, I was like, Mayhem, that'd be kind of cool because May is my middle name.
Okay.
M-E-E is my middle name. And then like H-A-M is the first three letters of my last name. So I did a mashup of my middle and my last name. So Bring the Mayhem. Very cool.
That's very creative.
Like, X came up with this name. I'm like, sort of. Thank you. So yeah, that's the story behind it.
Very cool. No. Thank you very much for telling that. And that's, of course, a first. You've heard it here live first on Collectors Hangout.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, again, all of this information will be in the show notes along with the pictures that we highlighted here. And I apologize to the viewers that were watching that we didn't have a better full screen graphics of those pictures that Lesley was able to share with us. But Lesley, thank you again for being here on Collectors Hangout. And we definitely hope that you might consider coming back, especially when you have more customs to showcase, and or if you're looking, of course, at highlighting anything that you have coming up that you want to tell the world first and foremost here on Collectors Hangout.
Yeah,
We'd love to have you back.
You're welcome. I'd love to come back. This is fun.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we'll see you around.